here in the U.S. I tell you what, it's incredible to see what he has been able to do with his family and just boxing in the way they represented from the island of Hawaii. But you know what? He's in there with a young man in Al-Manucci who came here to do the exact same thing, and that is take gold back home. And I think we're going to be in for a fun contest, a gritty contest as well.
We can't wait. And just a moment, we'll get into the action. The referee just giving the final instructions there. We don't want any more disqualifications, that's for sure.
Not at all. But you saw one of the things you saw in the final instructions from the official. You saw the height and the reach advantage, you know, for Al-Manucci.
Well, Patricio straight on that front foot, launching a right hand, and they are some quick hands, let me tell you. I don't know how fast they look on your TVs at home, but from just a few feet away from the ring, both of these guys are super quick, and their reactions are too.
Well, I like what Patricio is doing early here. He's applying the pressure. As you saw in bout number 1, pressure will be rewarded by these judges here at ringside. Patricio off to a pretty good start, as you saw that right hand right there.
He is. He's got good feet, has Patricio. And just bouncing around that ring, making it difficult for the man from Germany to try and land anything, and then just explodes out of nowhere, just launches himself from the canvas. And I've got to say, Al-Manucci looks at moments in the early part of this round a tiny bit overwhelmed when those shots come firing at him.
Well, you know, Patricio may be surprising him a tad bit with his pressure, but that's something that's going to be necessary for Lorenzo because of the fact that he has the height and reach disadvantage. But you already see early in this contest, blood in the mouth of Al-Manucci. Patricio getting that right hand home.
Here's Al-Manucci, sorry, just landing a couple of soft shots downstairs, a double jab to the body and trying to land the right hand upstairs. He seems to be settling into his groove a little bit now, the man from Germany, and looks a little bit more relaxed. Just got that distance, gauging that distance, getting that timing right. And Patricio isn't going to have it all his own way in this bout. I think that's one thing for certain.
Well, and I think you're right about that. It looks like Al-Manucci is settling down a tad, trying to maintain the distance, but that's the issue that he's going to have with Patricio. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to want to get inside, and right now still doing a pretty decent job of it against Al-Manucci.
I am mightily impressed with the explosiveness of Patricio, the way that he just fires himself off the canvas, rockets towards Al-Manucci and just lets a flurry of punches go. The speed which they come at his opponent must be really tough to handle, but Manucci looking to become a little bit more relaxed as he just bounces around the ring and switching that stance up, trying to make Patricio think about his boxing, think about what he's going to throw. And there was a bit of a Superman punch there, David.
A little bit. You know, I got to tell you, you know, try it all. Leave nothing to chance, right? You use every club in your bag when you make it to this point. This is the finals and the world championships, you know, at 50 kilograms. So you leave it all on the line, right? You lay it all on the line. You leave nothing out. And so if you want to try your Superman punch, hey, this might be the time.
Never a better opportunity than the World Championships to do so. And that is the sound to tell us that round 1 is over. And for me, David, Patricio came out the faster, stronger fighter. And like I said earlier on, he was overwhelmed a bit, was Al-Manucci. What's your thoughts?
Well, I would have to agree with that. You see the scores on the screen. Again, the aggression being rewarded, and so Patricio with the early lead here, 10-9, pitching a shutout on all 5 cards. You saw some pretty good moments from Al-Manucci later in that first round, so the question will be whether or not he will be able to build on that. But I think what we've already seen so far is that the key for Al-Manucci in this bout is whether or not he's going to be able to maintain his distance and keep Juanito Patricio, you know, out of his lap.
Well, there was clearly some
round 2
instructions given in each corner, so we'll see what both fighters come out, whether it's very similar to the starting round or not. And here we go, round 2 of 3 in this men's 50 kilogram under-19s World Championships. What an honor it is to be here and see fighters of this standard doing what they're doing. And look at Patricio coming out all guns blazing, really going for it. And the reflexes there was like something out of the Matrix. Al-Manucci threw a left hand, a left hook and a right hand, and both of them went whizzing past Patricio. And he was showing us that he hasn't just got fast hands, he can get out of the way quick as well.
Well, he's doing a good job of that. And I tell you, my favorite punch in that exchange may have been the straight right hand to the body of Al-Manucci. And I think if Patricio can work in enough body work, you know, in this contest, I think that could really pay heavy dividends for him and not just headhunt like he has done a little bit earlier in this contest.
Now, one of the things which the judges will pick up on is those eye-catching shots. Who do you think is landing the more eye-catching shots at the moment?
Well, I still have to go with Patricio, you know, at this moment. And again, I think Al-Manucci is starting to have a couple of more moments, but right now I think that the pressure of Patricio is still what is standing out most in this contest, although right now Patricio retreating a little as Al-Manucci starting to try to apply pressure and come forward. And as I say that, Patricio lunges in with the lunging left hook.
The referee just having a quiet word there, but Patricio is doing a little bit of showboating, and I guess Manucci needs to just be careful and don't let his head go in this, and keep engaged and keep those hands up, keep his wits about him. But Patricio looks like he's having a really good time here. He's boxing like Sugar Ray Robinson. Look at him bouncing around that ring, just popping that jab out and having a thoroughly good time. And he threw an awesome right hook, a right hand followed up with a left hook, and both of those shots landed. And Al-Manucci just lunges in with that right hand to the body, but it falls ever so slightly short.
You know, and Al-Manucci is having some better moments, you know, in this round. But however, those exchanges are still, in my opinion, favoring Patricio. So for every one that Al-Manucci lands, Patricio comes in and does the same, and then a little bit more. So he's going to have to, you know, start and finish some of these exchanges if he's going to give himself a real chance in this bout against Patricio.
Absolutely, and Al-Manucci just gets himself back into the contest again, and Patricio looks like he just sort of just has his foot off the gas ever so slightly. And it's almost like he tricks Al-Manucci into kind of coming in and then counters him, doesn't it?
Well, what you're seeing is that Patricio feels like it looks as if he feels like he has the timing down for Al-Manucci. And that's more the confidence in the body language, you know, of Patricio. I think that's what we're getting a look at as you see him take that very confident walk back to that red corner. I think Patricio is feeling pretty good about himself. And on the scorecards, he seems to be doing all right now.
He's certainly doing well. And now he's relaxed and knows that he's winning this contest. He should improve, but you need to be careful when you're in that position not to switch off, not to get caught, not to chuck it away. Because we've seen it happen before, haven't we, in these major competitions, in these tournaments. Fighters are doing so well. They're doing all the right things. Right. And they think they've got it in the bag, and then all of a sudden they end up losing on an RSC.
You know, we've seen it in all sports. You know, I love those videos, you know, where you see these marathon runners, you know, slow down right before the tape, and then some guy runs right by him at the end. You know, and when you're in the ring with someone who has the height and reach advantage on you, you can absolutely run into something that you don't want to see. So Patricio's got to stay on the game plan.
Timeout here at the start of the third round.
Bit of an equipment issue we got to take care of.
Just the vest, which was becoming untucked. They need to be nice and neat and tidy in this style of boxing. And we're back to the action.
Hey, Darren, what do you think about that USA chant that's starting to, you know, grow here in the arena?
Well, it is. It's starting to get noisy, and you can tell that the locals and the friends and family, the people, are enjoying it. I've got to say, I was in an Uber earlier on, and I told the guy why I was here, because he obviously picked up on my accent, and he said that he'd been down. I said, oh, it's just great, you know, like people are just randomly coming down to watch this boxing because it's just such a high standard, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. And Al-Manucci tries to throw a right uppercut under the left elbow of Patricio, and it doesn't land with any conviction, and Patricio just looking ever so slightly like having a bit of an off round. But then as I say that, we get a bit more showboating and some dancing, some reflexes, and I wonder what the judges will think about that stuff.
Well, you know, you're right. You know, you don't want to irritate the judges, and you don't want to do things, you know, that would turn the judges off about your performance. Not that the judges should be swayed by those things, because they certainly shouldn't be. But right now, Patricio, again, that's confidence. No coach is teaching their boxer to samba, you know, or do the merengue in the middle of a round. But you can tell things like that speak to the confidence that the boxer has at the moment. And I don't think Al-Manucci is doing himself any favors by attempting to match that energy and the showboating. He's down on the cards. Open scoring, he's down. He needs to get busy.
He really does. I was just going to pick up on that point, because when you're down on the cards like this, I was expecting him to be running at Patricio, running at him and trying to make his life hell for the next 3 minutes, and he hasn't done that. He's trying to box on the back foot. He just got caught with a really good right hand from Patricio again, and he's not fighting a fight which he needs to turn this around, is he? 1
minute left in this championship contest. Gold medal on the line in the World Championships. Where's the fire, you know, that you want to see from Al-Manucci, you know, in this moment? And as he takes another right hand from Patricio, I don't know if that's going to happen. And again, he's going to walk away at worst with the silver medal, and that's nothing to sneeze at, but you don't want to decide during the bout that silver medal is good enough.
I agree with you, and it's almost like for Al-Manucci, like he's run out of ideas.
Yes.
He's run out of ideas, and you can't run out of ideas at this level. These guys are operating at, and Patricio caught him with a beautiful left hook square on the chin there, and it stunned Al-Manucci just for a second there, and then they got back into their boxing again. But we're going to the last 15 seconds, and my guess is...
तो आई थिंक 8 years के आसपास हो गए होंगे मुझे कंट्री डिलाइट के प्रोडक्ट्स को यूज़ करने के लिए, और मैंने स्टार्ट सिर्फ मिल्क से किया था। और भी कई तरह के प्रोडक्ट्स जो भी कंट्री डिलाइट के अवेलेबल हैं, हमने धीरे धीरे सारे प्रोडक्ट्स यूज़ करने शुरू कर दिए।
आई थिंक द लाइफ सेवर वन इज द इडली डोसा बेटर। फास्ट ब्रेकफास्ट आप कहीं मार्केट से कहीं से भी ले आओ, आपको इतना फर्मेंटेड और इतना वो खट्टापन कहीं मिलेगा नहीं।
कंट्री डिलाइट के दाल्स, पल्सेस, माय सन लव्ड द मोस्ट।
व्हेन आई सोक देम तो अलग से कोई कलर नहीं निकलता कभी भी। व्हेन आई कुक देम तो दे आर नॉट लाइक आई हैव टू गिव लाइक 10s and 20s of whistles, so within 4 to 5 whistles वो कुक हो जाती हैं।
पोहा इज ऑल्सो वेरी वेरी गुड। उनका दलिया,
कंट्री डिलाइट का जो मस्टर्ड ऑयल इज़ वन ऑफ माई फेवरेट्स, क्योंकि ना उसकी जो अरोमा होता है, मज़ा आ जाता है जब बॉटल खुलती है, और जब उसका तड़का पड़ता है ना तब तो लगता है बस।
You know, our day-to-day life routines is coming from the country delight.
अगोड़ा पे मिलेगा लो रेट्स ऑन फ्लाइट्स
इंटरनेशनल एंड डोमेस्टिक।
अगोड़ा।
Not only has Patricio won this comfortably, but he certainly won it with some style, David.
He has done that, as you see Patricio letting Al-Manucci know that last punch is inconsequential, means nothing. It's about the goal. And I tell you what, look at Patricio. I can imagine, you know, again, the family. You see the Hawaiian contingent that has traveled here to Colorado to support him, the USA chants going. This has got to be a great feeling for Lorenzo Patricio.
You love that Team USA stuff, don't you? Whenever I'm watching anything which has got Team USA in it, you always hear Team USA, USA.
You know, I'm here to be a non-biased participant.
Of course,
you know, but I tell you, it's so easy to root for a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Lorenzo Patricio and the Patricio family are such good people. I had the pleasure of having the opportunity, you know, to interact with them on multiple occasions, and his father is such a gentleman, and he teaches humility, you know, to his young boxers, you know, his family. And now you look at it, as you hear the chant starting to grow again.
For championship bout 2, the winner on points by unanimous decision. In the red corner from USA, Lorenzo Patricio.
Well, a very, very comfortable win for Patricio, as we've been banging on about, and a very exciting young man to keep an eye on in the future, whether that's the amateur game or whether he goes over to the pro ranks, because he might be one of those fighters And I don't know if you use this saying here, David, he's a Marmite fighter. You either love him or you hate him, because some people hate that flashy stuff.
Absolutely.
Other people love it.
Right, and that's the thing. But what I really enjoy about this is not just what I'm seeing here today. I'm also enjoying the idea and the prospect of the future. This is an under-19 world championship, and so imagine the number of times, you know, from now throughout the rest of their amateur careers and even into the pros, that those two boxers may get into the ring, you know, together, you know, and continue to settle, you know, this beef that we now have. I think that is great to feel, you know, to know.
Yeah, it is. Bingo. We're singing off the same hymn sheet, and in just a moment, we'll be getting into our third fight of the night, and that is England's, or the afternoon. We're still early, aren't we? We're still early. It's 25-2 here in Colorado. England versus India, and like you said, how well have India done? And if you look back at a lot of the amateur championships, they have been incredible. There was one games, I can't remember which one it was, but India like had 19 or something ridiculous finalists and come away with like 18 gold medals. They are dominating at the moment in terms of the amateur side, and especially on the women's side.
I tell you, when you see a country, right, and it doesn't even have to be boxing. We could be talking about, you know, college football or basketball. You know, some schools send more players to the pros.
In the female 57-kilogram division, the judges from Sri Lanka, Italy, Poland, World Boxing, and USA. The referee from Canada, Wade Peterson. And now, the boxers. In the red corner, from England, Tia Ayton. Singh.
Well, I'll tell you what, David, the Indian coaching team are going to get their steps in tonight, aren't they? Because
They are.
they got 6 fighters in the final tonight, and the amount of times they're walking back and forth backstage, warming fighters up, it must be quite an operation for them back there, doing the mix and getting everyone going.
Well, let me tell you, they don't mind. When you have a team that brings this many boxers into the finals of a tournament of this magnitude, it speaks directly to the coaching, you know, and the culture of that team. So what that should mean for the rest of the boxers, you know, here in these finals, they need to be completely aware of that fact and know that they're going to get the best out of what's happening in that other corner. You don't bring this many boxers to the finals if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. I really couldn't. They obviously are doing a lot of very good stuff, and the outcome of that is how many world-class fighters they've got. And here we go, we've got Singh versus Ayton. Ayton from England in the red, Singh from India in the blue. And the two fighters come together. And a nice double jab right hand there from Tia Ayton. And Singh just planting her feet there and letting her shots go straight away, David.
Well, you know, there's no feeling out process in this one. As you can see, these two boxers come to the center of the ring and they're already letting their hands go. You know, so there'll be a lot for the judges at ringside to absorb, you know, in this bout. But right out of the gate, you see the desire, you know, in the ring with both of these these boxers. And I got to tell you, if you are Team India, you already had a boxer come into the ring and not come away with the gold. Does that up the level of desire for the rest of that team from India?
That's a really good point, because when you've got so many fighters, or even if it's just a few of them, when you've got someone to come back and wins, and the excitement and the energy which they bring back to the changing room, and then you've got someone who loses, it's a different ball game, isn't it? You've got to have your head in the game. As Ayton just comes forward there with some good straight shots, a double jab, right hand, and all 3 shots landed. And Singh comes back with a nice and relaxed jab and then follows it up with a right hand to the temple to the girl from England.
Very good 3-punch combination from Singh right there, and looking pretty confident as she steps forward, going back to the head of Ayton. Right now, Singh doing some pretty good work.
Well, I liked what Ayton did there. She just boxing nicely on the back foot. That is the sort of stuff which is training ground stuff. The way she just sort of went back with her right foot first and then just threw 2 or 3 shots nicely with really good technique, perfect technique, and a couple of them got through. And Singh looks nice and relaxed and just tries to hold on to the centre of that ring, but gets pushed out of it by Ayton from England once again. This first opening round hasn't got the energy of the 2 previous bouts that we've just watched, but there's some good skill and some good boxing here.
Well, definitely some quality shots being thrown, a little more precision, you know, in this particular bout. And just as I was saying that Singh was doing great work, Ayton jumps right in and starts to land combinations of her own. So it's kind of a back and forth ebb and flow, you know, to this bout. It'll be interesting to see which boxer can string together some consistent offense and start to shut down their opponent.
One of the things which is a feeling for me already is this is a tough fight to score for the judges. Don't you think?
Right. You know, it is. And when you have boxers that are punching the way that they are, and remember, you know, the judges don't all sit together. They're on opposite sides, on different sides of the ring.
Yeah.
So, you know, the angle from which you are watching it certainly plays a part. And then, of course, the crowd noise gets involved. And then so you have to be really careful with that. So some things you see, some things you don't. But I think both boxers are acquitting themselves pretty well here in this first round. And I think they both have done some things that they can build on moving forward after a little conversation in the corner with their coach.
That brings the first round to an end, and I feel like Ayton probably was the stronger fighter towards the end of that round, but Singh certainly done some good stuff, and the judges are saying that exactly, David.
Give me some of that wow. Move to the beat, drop down. Feel it in your body.
Exactly. And so there you have it. You see Ayton boxing out of that red corner representing England. I mean, and let's not kid ourselves. That is the second boxer from England that's already in the ring contending for a championship as well. So as much as we've talked about Team India, and of course having so many boxers in the finals is quite the accomplishment, let's not overlook the coaching and the desire that's in that other corner too.
If you were in the coaching corner of India, now Singh is down on the scorecards, what sort of advice, what information would you be feeding her? What would you want to be seeing her do when she comes out for this second round?
Well, I will tell her that she needs to finish these exchanges. She's doing a pretty good job of scoring when she's boxing, you know, with Ayton, but Ayton is finishing these exchanges, so she's putting the exclamation point. She's punctuating those exchanges, and Singh has got to do some of that too.
That's a really good way of putting it. There is an exclamation mark on the end of those right hands. I'm stealing that one. that's going in my commentary vocabulary. Thank you very much. And here we go as we go into the first 15 seconds of the second round here at the first ever World Boxing Under-19 World Championships here in Colorado. And we have Tia Ayton from England fighting Kumari Singh from India. We've got a good contest on our hands if you're just joining us. Ayton up on the scorecards so far on the back foot, but just needs to be careful as you don't get caught with those big flying overhand rights which Singh is throwing. And Singh has come out a little bit more confident, I'm feeling. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking as well. You know, she does seem to be a little more confident here. But again, nothing necessarily bad, happened to her in the first round. She was just outpointed, and so she's got to do a better job of maintaining the distance. She's got a little bit of a height and reach advantage, so make it a little bit more difficult for Ayton to come forward. Make her pay for walking toward you. Be a little bit more aggressive. Be first, if you can, and then, of course, sometimes you got to be first and last, and she's not doing as good a job of doing that, and the result is that Ayton is getting the opportunity, to score when she gets inside.
She is, and Ayton's 2 brilliant shots, and the shots which she's throwing a lot is that very traditional 1-2. But I do feel that Singh is just starting to suss the timing of those out, because there's a couple of times when you were just talking there and I was watching the action that she was slipping those right hands and they weren't landing like they were before. So Ayton's going to have to come up with some new combinations and maybe start going around the sides with the left hooks and the right hooks and coming up in the middle with the right uppercuts. But at the moment, both girls boxing well.
Have we seen an uppercut today yet?
I don't think we have. I don't think we have. It's not a common shot in Olympic boxing, really, is it? Unless you get the big heavyweights when they're leaning on each other, the 90-plus kilo fighters, as we call it on this side of the game. But a much slower round, and that was a decent right hook which went over the top from Ayton from England.
I'd love to see Singh pull away a little more smartly. And that's one of the things I've noticed, that at the end of these exchanges, when she pulls away, she's still taking fire. I'd like to see her circle away or just be more mindful of it. But she takes punches at the end of the exchange as she's backing away. And so she's giving away free points at that point.
It's a good point. And what Singh will do is she comes in, she lands a couple of good shots, and then she stands there for too long and then gets caught. And that hard work and the good work which she's just done just gets taken away, because for every 2 shots she's landing, Ayton seems to be coming back and giving the opportunity to land 2 or 3 shots.
She does, and then as we see now, as we make our way, to the end of round number 2, I'm feeling that, not much change, even though we seem to be a bit more confident, not a lot changed. But there you see, 3 of the 5 judges at ringside give that second round to the blue corner and Singh. And so, well, there you have it. That confidence that you said you saw, well, the judges must have seen it as well. And now we've got a contest on our hands.
Yeah, we certainly have, and that is quite some interesting scoring. Because I felt like Singh was getting caught a fair bit, but she was obviously throwing some, a good number of shots which were landing. She was throwing those eye-catching shots and doing better work than maybe what we thought she was, but she certainly looked a lot more confident in that round than she did in the previous.
Well, if you're scoring on body language, her body language was definitely better in that second round. But obviously she did some things that 3 of the judges at ringside really liked. And so now here we are going into the 3rd round, and Singh and that team from India has a great chance of getting their first goal of this tournament.
They have, but they've both got to go to work here, and Singh from India comes straight out with a 1-2 and then follows it up with a 1-2 left hook, and Ayton needs to put her foot on the pedal and really go for it. We need to see some aggression from Ayton, because Singh has come out all guns blazing. She's got the bit between her teeth and she is up for this. Ayton doesn't want to be chucking this away, but Singh knows that there's an opportunity to have her hand raised at the end of this bout.
Well, I tell you what, we're 2.5 minutes left to go here in this championship at 57 kilograms. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to go to the whip. We're headed down the home stretch.
This is what it's about. These are the bouts that we love so much. It's when you get to these 3rd rounds in this amateur Olympic-style boxing, and it's all to play for. And that's exactly what we've got on our hands here. But look, this is the 3rd round, and they've both put a lot into the previous rounds, not only physically, but mentally as well. And that takes a drain on your enthusiasm, your energy levels, your everything, doesn't it? No matter how much you want it,
right?
It's a tiring process. But you think of the emotions and the build-up to this as well.
All of that factors into what we have right now, culminating into this moment, as we're barreling toward, the finish line with 1.5 minutes to go here in this championship bout. Both boxers want this. You certainly know that as you see Singh stepping forward and taking fire, but firing as well. How are the judges going to view it? You said yourself you thought that Ayton had done enough, to take that second round. 3 of the judges at ringside didn't agree with that. And so now, going here with just under 1.5 minutes to go, as we see the mouthpiece, out of the mouth of Singh now, having been reinserted. How do you finish? That's the question. How do you finish? How do you cross the finish line in this contest? You got to run through the tape. I need to see more action from both boxers.
It's digging deep, and this really could be anybody's fight, and I think both of them know it, and the mouthpiece coming out of Singh there would have been a welcome break, I think, for both of them, just to get a few lungs full of air and just go for it in the last minute and 30 seconds as the fight restarted. But here we go into the last 55 seconds of what will be history for these two fighters. One of them will walk away with gold, one of them will walk away with silver. Of course, they both want that gold, but no matter what, they've done some sensational stuff to get here, and they should both be incredibly proud of themselves, as all their coaches, their friends, their family, and everybody watching here and at home. And we go into the last 30 seconds, and both of them breathing with an open mouth. You can see that they're exhausted, but both throwing good shots. It was a good shot from Singh and a decent one followed back from Ayton.
I feel like whoever lands the last shot before the bell is the one who's going to win this bout. Whoever lands that last good shot.
Well, that is the clapper for the final 10 seconds, and both fighters would have heard that, and that was a really good right hand by Ayton, and this is a great finish to a great fight, and what a treat we had there, David. 3 rounds, good rounds, some great technical boxing, some explosiveness, some fantastic shots. That's what we love about this stuff, isn't it?
It was exciting right there. And so if my theory holds correct, that I feel like whoever lands the last big shot, the last good punch, is the one who's going to win this bout. If that is true, I'm thinking that maybe that is Singh, because I think she did a nice job of running through the tape at the end, play through the whistle. That's what they say. And I thought both boxers, were making the effort to do it, but I think Singh may have landed the last punch that mattered. So we'll see, what happens here. I can't wait. I have no idea what the judges are going to say.
Neither do I. I'm really intrigued to see what they're going to say. And do you know what? They're both worthy winners. They are. They're both worthy winners.
And so different. And not to take anything away, from the previous contest, but just, minutes ago we're talking about Al-Manucci, in the previous contest, and whether or not he was really going at it hard enough.
The winner on points by unanimous decision in the red corner from
अगर किसी चीज को दिल से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात उसे